Welcome to, I don't know why I was surprised by my own voice in the intro. I mean, I'm the person talking. Welcome to Synchronicity. Reality 102 is this episode. Reality 101 was a smash hit. Everyone really liked that one. I was getting a lot of feedback. Um, there's so much to cover in this one. So I'm I'm writing things down now as they come to me just because it's actually impossible to keep up and keep track of. That's a sketch. I wrote a sketch, by the way. It's called Vagina Guy. I'm not joking. This is a real sketch I wrote. When I go to LA, I'll probably share it with Duncan, and I have some other people I want to share it with. It's good. It's objectively good. So I'm just going through that too. What the fuck is going on? Anyway, here it is. Okay. So I wrote stuff down and I realized my Twitter also is my thoughts and I should be looking there for stuff. This is the worst intro. But we're going to keep it rolling. Fuck it, man. We'll do it live. So you're going to hear me flipping through pages of stuff and me trying to remember the fuck I was talking about. And there's also a healthy chance that I just re-record the second half of this because I'm about to be on another podcast right now and I should probably, I don't know, I'll probably just run right into it, this one. So this is what you're getting. All right, let's start with the first thing. I'm saying like it's bad. It's a great thing. So I've been getting a lot of questions and I think rather than just doing a full-blown Q&A episode, I'll just deal with it at the top here. Whoa. Jeez. Fucking A. Where's the other thing I wrote down? Yo, Jake, hit me up when you hear this. I need someone to organize my shit. Can you come over to my house and organize my notes? Because this is not the way you're supposed to do it. Okay, here's what I'm supposed to mention before. Okay, sorry. Are we here? How's Scorpio season going for you? It's a fucking mindfuck, right? I mean, in a good way. It's, things are being destroyed. Things are being new beginnings. We had the new moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is an eagle. It's a phoenix. It's the scorpion. It's the crayfish. It's so many things. But it's a lot of reviewing of energy. It's a lot of quick transformational energy too. A lot of going from cold to hot, maybe hot to cold. So that's what we've been processing. So the reason I'm going to deal with these questions up front after I get through the things I need to mention is because people are just like, I get it. Shit is going on. People have anxiety questions, death questions, worry questions, what the fuck is going on questions. And, I'd wait a week or two usually to gather them all up, but it feels like what I should be doing is just dealing with these at the beginning of episodes for a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. Also, we're in the void. Today is the 108th day in the Tzolk'in. Am I saying that right? Is it the Mayan calendar or the Aztec? I don't know, but I fucking use it. So today is, I define in order to beautify, measuring art, I seal the store of elegance with the self-existing tone of form. I am guided by the power of flowering. I am a galactic activation portal. Enter me. It's a wave spell is Red Serpent, life force, survive, and instinct. Anyway, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see me posting these on the stories. Like we're in these a very long sequence of gray days on the Tzolk'in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them in a row. We're on the third right now. And this is a really powerful time to kind of get in touch with like the world that's coming. And yes, I'm going to do a 2020 episode, paradigm shift, all this stuff. And I know it sounds new agey and weird, whatever. You don't have to listen to that one, but I'm sure you're here for it because you're listening to this shit. Reality 102. This is the class up. Anyway, can I get to my shit? I'm saying to myself, Ned, these guys, I forgot about them for like 3 episodes. They're good. I'm on track and everything. I do so many episodes now. I forget when I have to mention things, or not when I have to, but when I've said I'm going to mention things. Ned. What do we know about Ned? CBD, full spectrum hemp oil, just weed, cannabis. Get the shit. I already told you. I'm going to imagine this. Everything you purchase through them, use the code SYNC, SYNC at checkout. You get 15% off. That's an aside. Don't even worry about that. It's just like money. Who gives a shit? I don't mean who gives a shit like it's not important. If you're struggling with money, that sounds callous. That's what I mean. It's just like, this is what's important. You get the CBD, you order it on helloned.com, you put in the code SYNC. There's a magic spell I have casted. Do you think I'm being facetious? I'm not. Sometimes I sound like I'm being facetious and I'm not. This is real. I have blessed it. It opens up portals. It works with your endocannabinoid system. We cast a little spell, we do a little thing, and it fucking makes this shit go smoother. You don't believe me? You don't have to try it out. See what happens. And support the Ned guys. They're just wonderful human beings doing cool stuff. They still send me their stuff and I use it actively, truthfully. I'm not bullshitting about this. I'm sure at this point, if you're a longtime listener of this podcast, you can tell. I say, you know, I'm bullshitting on ads. I've made the commitment. I'm not taking on any more sponsors where I don't actually use and enjoy their product. So that's Ned. Go check them out. HelloNed.com. Use the code SYNC at chink out. No, that's wrong. Chink in the armor? No. Check out and you will get 15% off. And that magic spell I cast on it. That's thing number one. Thing number two, we have a winner. Someone won well, there was always going to be a winner. FYI, I found Google has a random number generator. If you just type in random number generator, Google will do that. It'll give you like from what number to what number, and it'll do it. And that's how I pulled this. So congratulations. Who won? I don't know. I have it here. You know who you won. I'll be in touch with you. And you'll hear, it was her. It was a her. You'll hear her on an episode maybe this week, maybe next week. Virginia. That's who it was. So congratulations, Virginia. We are going to be having a fun reading that's broadcast to the entire world. So hopefully you're ready for that. These things are pretty powerful. So that's coming up. What else did I have? I lost my page because I got excited and was trying to find who won. And fucking hey, that's another episode. Oh, the live events form. If you're on the email list, it's going to be going out this week. Live events, they're happening. They're coming together not only in terms of where they will be, but what they will be. Because I've asked you guys explicitly, what would you like to see? And you don't have to know. I have ideas. I'm going to do those things too. But I definitely want to know what you would like to see, what you would like to get out of this. There's a lot of Q&A stuff coming up, tarot things, other readings. So yeah, that's happening. Buckle up. Then again, October. Oh, I did this Blythewood thing at Bard College. That was fucking amazing. That place is definitely haunted in like the nicest sense. There's a presence there and she's wonderful. And I learned a new way to do like quick tarot readings in like 10 to 15 minutes. So I also just threw that up. I don't know how long I'm going to leave it up there on the readings page, syncpodcast.com/readings. These like 15, I think they're 20 minutes I put up there. So they're a lower price point. So if you wanted one and you wanted kind of a shorter one, I didn't have that option before because I wasn't confident I could get it done. Like have something be transformational and powerful enough in 20 minutes, which made no sense. Like I'm put out episodes that I think are really good and they're like 10 minutes. So, but I did this at Blythewood. I did like, I don't know, 10, 15 people and holy shit, it was awesome. And I figured out a new way to read. So it's a 4-card spread. I use 3 Rider-Waite, 3 traditional tarot, and then just whatchamacallit. What are they called? Threads of Fate. Jesus Christ. Okay. So the reason I bring that up is October 31st, Halloween, New York City at ABC Beer and Kitchen. There is going to be me. It's a horrible way of constructing that sentence. There is going to be me. I'm going to be there doing tarot readings. I think it's going to be $20. That's probably what I'll do. It's Halloween. You don't have to have cash. I'm not cash only. It is also the launch of the Non Sequitur Beer Project. So there's going to be really fucking cool beer, costume contests, tarot reading by me, and classic horror movies, it says too. So there's going to be a whole lot going on. That is Alphabet City Beer Company in the East Village. My friends run it. It's fucking awesome. So come by there if you're in New York City on Halloween. I think I'm going to go as a devil or something like that. I actually have to get my costume. I haven't dressed up in a long time. So I have to figure this shit out because you don't want to be like, I'm not like, I've gone too costumey before and it's nice and it's cool. But if it doesn't land 100%, it's like, oh my God, I'm dressed up like this. That's not going to happen this time. But I don't want to go like too minimal, you know? Listen, I'm dressing up as a fucking human, all right? But I am gonna dress up as a devil because that's fun. So yeah, catch me there, October 31st. ABC Beer, Halloween, Tarot. Come say hi. Okay, that's the beginning. That's the beginning. That was like 10 minutes of stuff. All right, now let's get into the real shit. Before 102, let's get into these questions just because um, I'm getting the prompt that I should do that. When I say getting the prompt, Jessa has aliens. Well, I have aliens too now. I just finally fucking accepted it today. I was like, oh, that's what's been going on. Oh, okay. Well, all right. And guess what? These aliens can talk to dead people. Fucking A. And I had to just accept that. I've had these experiences in my life where deceased or people who are no longer in this physical world come to me and then they're like, go talk to this person. And I don't say this shit to them because that's fucking weird, but it's happened to me enough times that I'm just like, okay, I get it. This is a thing that happens. And if that's too weird for you and this is where you jump off, fuck out of here. Anyway, the reason I bring this up is I had someone this morning ask, I hope you don't mind that I'm reading this out, dude. I'm not going to say your name, but here it was like last week, my cat, grandpa, and all my house plants, but one died. Freaking me out, and I don't know what to make of it. Is there an episode where you talk about imagination and grief? No, that's why I'm doing this one. Do you have any advice or anything? I'm having a hard time not going dark right now. And it's like, holy shit, man. Like I get it. I get it that I haven't gone through that in this world, like that intense of a death vibe, but I do get it. So I said this. I'll talk about it. Yes, it's a time of transformation. They're all still with you. It's just a physical disappearance, and they're free, and I'll love you. And they want to help, so don't freak. Process the grief, cry, let it out, and be transformed by it. You'll feel lighter than ever before. Process it and let it go. Don't hold on. And don't run away from the fear. Go towards and through it. So I say this for multiple reasons. One, I was just like saying it in the moment because I was like, okay, this is clearly what I'm supposed to be saying right now. And I knew it, and I know it afterwards, and I didn't question it, and it's right. I did mention the death thing related to loved ones and people around us before, briefly on one of the earlier episodes, which is your imagination is real reality. That's God, that's source, that's everything. So if you actually can imagine people who are no longer in this world, that's them. And you can be like, okay, well, if I just like imagine someone who's dead, like I'm talking to Hitler and like Hitler's like telling me like fun jokes. Well, you know the difference if you're thinking of something. If you're thinking of something, even just in this world, it implies that you don't have it, which is wrong because you do. But if you're thinking from it, so if you're thinking about a dead person and you're thinking from it and holy shit, this isn't me tricking myself. This is actually me communicating with something or someone or an energy or a presence, you'll know that. And you may intellectually bat it around and be like, am I going crazy? And this is, I get a lot of questions about this from people. Am I going nuts? And no, you're not. You're just getting in touch with stuff that maybe you don't understand consciously and logically. And I get that that can be kind of freaky. But the truth is like, you're all good in the hood. Like it's all good in the hood. But just as you're waking up to this, like, masters, you guys are masters. You're waking up. It's the awakening masters time period. This is where we process these tethers and weights, these things that have bound us to this physical world. And not like we ascend and we leave, but we leave the mental construct of this place being deterministic and us having no control over it. That's leaving. That's going bye-bye. But to ascend to that level, we need to cut these cords that from these weights that are binding us and holding us down. And does that mean like cut toxic people right out of your life immediately? I mean, that can be the case. Like if you know you're in a situation where you need to get away from someone, do that. But like strategic planning and processing and making sure you're not running away from stuff is also important. So again, to relate it to the dead people and people who are no longer here, like they're still here. Okay. Our senses constrict this world down. I'm gonna do a whole episode on music, and like I had a lot of stuff written down for that. And it's just work, it's just like concepts and things, but that episode will be very helpful for a lot of people because music is a universal language. We can all understand it. And even if you don't know some of the terminology specific to, what makes up music or sound, or some of the, tools we use to process and create music, I'll break them down for you in an upcoming episode. That's a big one. I know it. So I just want to honor that one as much as possible and make sure all the concepts are out. But for the dead people, which I don't want to honor and I don't give a fuck about, joking. This is a big time energy that a lot of us are processing right now. So kind of the first step, and this does go into Reality 102, and I'm not going to segue right into it, but I guess we're already in Reality 102. Welcome to Reality 102. This is where we talk about dead people and how to integrate ancestral trauma. So Reality 102, and I'm just going to keep answering the questions, but just announce that we're here. Reality 102 is all about healing thyself, right? Healthy self, as Jen Sodini just pointed out to me. Same thing. Heal thy healthy thyself. This is the name of the game. So the first Reality 101 is waking up to, holy shit, my imagination creates reality, and I have these techniques that can prove it empirically to me, and the objective proof can come up in this world so I don't forget it. Amazing. Reality 102 is heal thyself. This is when you recognize that you're probably running patterns or sequences or programming or whatever you want to call it, energetic knots, karma, that isn't serving you anymore. And as you become aware of it, you can actually reprogram, heal it, break the karmic chains, whatever term you want to use, and kind of free yourself. And then start feeding yourself what you want mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and then start emanating that out. So that's Reality 102. And that's primarily what we're going to be talking about this episode. Reality 103, which I will also be talking about in a future episode, probably pretty soon. We're in the void here, like I said, with that Tzolk'in stuff. It's a powerful energy, and this is a time for transmutation. And it's just like, why don't we just go through 102 and 103? 103, though, is after you've healed yourself, after you've set your destinations and are confident those are unfolding because you have them and it's just a fact, you have faith is what I should say. You start trying to cast your gaze out on people who maybe aren't having as easy of a time as you. So that's 103. But we do 102. We go in order. You can't go to 103 until you go to 102. You do have to go in order for these. So Reality 102, again, we're going to be looking at how do you heal yourself? How do you get past anxiety and these types of things? And, these questions that I'm about to go through are related to that. So here's the first one. Did you ever feel afraid, or did you ever feel afraid when this just started working and kept working? It sounds like it happened really quickly for you as well. So yeah, the first time this happened to me, like I experienced it directly, like as an adult, I guess. I mean, I was in college, but like not as a kid. Kids are just doing this shit naturally. They just don't think about it conceptually because those concepts haven't formed yet. They're still forming. But when this first happened to me, it was amazing for 3 months, like incredible. But then I definitely got freaked out. It was too much. I got paranoid. I was like, oh my God, if my imagination creates reality, that means there's like CIA agents who know about this and they're on to me, and there's like, they're going to teleport into my shower. Like, oh my God, like total crazy shit, because like, you just don't know the laws or the rules of the game. So like you make up the rules and like you can get trapped there. And if you're trapped there imaginally, you're kind of trapped there physically. And it doesn't mean people are watching you and like they're on to you and that shit. It just means that you're trapped in your own head. It's kind of like a prison. So yeah, I did get freaked out. This time around with these techniques and the way I've approached it, yeah, I guess I get like afraid, not with the imagining. No, not with the imagining. I don't. I get afraid with like real world confrontations with things that I've imagined or feel. Not tremendously afraid anymore. I'm happy to report, but I do get pangs of it, and I just know what to do now. I go towards it. I fucking move right at it. I look at it, I move through it, and then it's gone. And that's just like great. And physical exercise will teach you a lot about this. Like if you've ever crossed, like I started doing push-ups again. Like when I first started, like 10, 15 push-ups was like, I was topping out. Like today I did 25, and it wasn't easy, but like the thought of 25 2 weeks ago, like no fucking way in one go. So it's the same thing with fear. You just keep pushing through it and you go, oh, way more, that's no big deal. Okay, great. Awesome. Let me just you have to have the desire to push through it though. Okay. So yes, I do get afraid. That's fear is a big part of not only what we're going to be recycling and looking at um, this month, Scorpio season 2019. But as everything continues to move into Capricorn, the devil, the path of fear. So we want to get acclimated with it and know what to do as that happens. And it doesn't mean just to be clear, in case anyone is sensing oh my God, there's going to be Armageddon and there's going to be water wars. And I'm pretty, the water wars are not what you think they are. The water wars are the psychic waters, and those wars have already started. And it's not going to be that bad, but yeah, don't freak out. Don't freak out. That's what I've just been saying to people, stop freaking out. I know that's easier said than done. And next question, did you experience any physical changes, sudden or otherwise? Yes. Every time this happens or has happened, this time I stabilized it wonderfully. So I've extended this. I have a strong desire to exercise and move my physical body and express myself physically, dancing, exercising, weights, bike, jogging, anything, yoga. Yes. I just it's just an inherent, it's you know what I think it is? It's you wake up, some of the Socratic schools in the Greek, they put such a de-emphasis. They de-emphasize the body so much. They were kind of pejorative to it at times. And I get it. It's not the real thing. It's kind of just a avatar that we jump into. But when you really get this shit and you wake up to this and you're oh my God, I have a body? Fuck yeah. Let me fucking use this fucking thing in the best way that I possibly can. That's powerful. And so that's what it's like for me. Sometimes people have diet changes. I gotta say my diet changes, I don't know. It changes. I don't eat as much, that's for sure. Especially during what I would call upgrade periods. I do not eat as much. If I eat edibles, I'll probably binge at night or something. But yeah, I don't eat that much when I'm really going through this stuff. And not in a weird way. It's not I don't refuse to eat. It's no, I'm just not hungry right now. I'm going to have a lot of water. And, when I do eat, I enjoy it immensely because I haven't eaten in a little bit. So that does happen. This is just for me. That's all I know. I don't know what it's like for you. I imagine it could be the same. Here we go. How do you define delusion? Is there a risk falling into something like it with this kind of process? So delusion is a schism between what you believe and what you want. And that means that you don't believe in what you desire. It means that there's something you are judging, some aspect. You're saying it's delusory. Now, you'll know, if you're I really want to win the lottery. I want $400 million. Well, do you? Is that really specifically how much money you want? You need that much money? Why do you want that much money? Drill down is what I'm saying. You want that much money because you want a yacht? Okay, go for it. You want a yacht? That's, probably the appropriate amount of money to have a really nice yacht. And is the yacht really something you want? Yep, that's a thing. You feel it, you know it, go for it. But if you want the money because you want a sense of security, if you want the money because you think it'll make people like you or it'll take care of your immediate problems, A, it's not going to do any of that for you. B, you probably need way less money than you think you do to feel that sense of calm and stability. It's so much less. We're always up against it, so it feels like we need a lot more and it's going to run out. But trust me, you don't. So that's maybe where I define delusion. It's not investigating the root of what's really going on, but again, it's a choice. Do you know what I mean? If it's coming up to you and feels delusory, recognize this is a choice you're making. You can decide whether this is actually something worth pursuing, but you want to use your sense of stability. So this is kind of how you mitigate that risk, how you avoid it is your inner sense of balance and how you feel. If you can keep that tight, if you can keep that legit, stable, it's not delusory, even if it feels weird, right? You can be like, oh my God, like that's something that I want and feel that I have. Okay. But like delusory is kind of like, I really want this thing. Like, I want it so bad. And like, yeah, it's going to make all my dreams come true when I get that thing. And when I have that thing, it's going to make my life better. Or when I have that person, my life's going to be perfect. And it's like, no, that is specifically pushing it away from you. But if you just kind of like, you know what? I already have that. And it's amazing. And watching it unfold is even going to be more fun. That works. And you won't do that with the shit you really don't work. And again, you're your own threshold guardian here. You will not let yourself through unless you actually believe and feel this shit. And you can try every fucking trick in the book. Now, these techniques are pretty good. And this is where things can get a little wonky. Use this lovingly. You don't have to. Use it lovingly. If you use this to manipulate other people, if you use this to get things that, you're not fully thinking about and not applying the golden rule, shit can get fucking wonky, right? But if you do use it lovingly, you can have shit work for you pretty well. So just compassion is a big part of this for yourself and other people around you. Okay. Do you ever doubt the process or if this is actually real? Yeah, I'll get little pings of doubt at times, but like only for like really like weird shit. Like, oh my God, really that? Like, and sometimes these are physical things. Like I'm like, I don't know. Like that's so weird. Like that's not how shit works. But no, this is really how shit works. I've seen way too much shit at this point. And like the beauty of it is I don't have to convince anyone anymore. And that's like, truthfully, like when this podcast started like really gaining a lot of attention, is when I stopped trying to speculate and I stopped trying to convince and I stopped trying to prove. And I just spoke 100% from my direct experience. And I've been doing that for a lot on this podcast, but my direct experience up until, 6 or 7 months ago was not that this is out. I mean, I knew this, like I tweeted it out. It was like, I always knew this was who I am, but I didn't know, you know? Like, and that's what's going on for you potentially too. Like, you don't know, like, like you kind of know. Like, I just remember I kept saying when this all started to happen to me, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know it was like this. Oh my God, I didn't know reality was actually like this. And then that would immediately be followed by, I fucking knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew it. Hallelujah. I fucking knew it. So, yeah, I mean, doubt is a thing. It's all good. It's just you pressure testing your shit. And, here's the truth. And this is what I've been telling people who have sticky situations or things that they want, real big dreams, or just trying to get out of tough states is you have to trust and believe in yourself. You have to know that you are actually going to be the person who is able to accept and have these things. And that can be a process. And doubt can certainly be part of it. But at a point, if doubt is just holding you back and it's just kind of keeping you in a holding pattern, you got to let that shit go for real. It's not worth it. Doubt can be helpful, and here's the other thing. Like, if you're going to get something you've always wanted, really, this is what I meant to say. If you're going to get something you always wanted, don't you want it as the best version of you? Do you want to be a famous person who has all these problems and then the fame just amplifies those issues? No. Duh. If you want it to be successful in your career or you want to have a loving relationship, don't you want those relationships as the best version of yourself so you can have the best relationships? Yes, you do. So we use doubt, we use fear, we use these very harsh teachers sometimes to teach us those lessons of like, you are in charge of this shit. Don't doubt that this is how reality works. Is it weird sometimes? Is it unsettling? Yeah, but welcome to the void. We're here for another few days at least. And we're going to be here for a long time. So it's all good in the hood. So yes, doubt is real. Then here's the other question. Do you recommend starting at one thing at a time or going big with it? Do what feels right. That's how I answer this question from now on. Do what feels right. Do what feels right. I'm not going to totally recap. That's in a lot of other episodes. And then finally, what does 1111 mean to you? And then we're going to get to reality 102 and I'm going to yak. 1111 means 111. I don't know. You and me. That's what I see. Numbers are archetypes. 111 is 4. It's the foundation. It's solidifying things. It's truthfully an amazing thing. Synchronicity. Listen, here's what synchronicities are. And we experience them a lot with number because it's a primordial archetype. Synchronicities are you. Your life is a symphony of synchronicities. You're the conductor. You're conducting a song to wake yourself up to who you really are. That's when we see these numbers. That's what it means. 222, 111, 333, 444, whatever it is, 1234, 720, 420. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does. It's fun. It's awesome. But like what it's really trying to do is be like, hey, here's a sign that you're waking up. Signs always follow. Anything in this world is an effect. It is not the cause. So when you see something, you have already done something. Facts. Okay. I'm going to record as much of Reality 102 as I can right now. And then I got to jump off and do this other podcast. And then I'll pop back in and record it. So if my voice sounds different there, hopefully it doesn't. And I'm consistent today. That's why. So, no, there's another question. I forgot these came in from Instagram. Should I check that right now too before we get to this? That's how I'll break it up. I'll do these questions and then I will do my talking afterwards. Best podcast ever. Okay. Let me see. Did any other questions come in? No, just those two. Great. Okay. So guided meditation. I'm not going to do that on this episode. Thank you, Jamie, for that. I will do a guided, I wouldn't call it a guided visualization. I'll do those for sure. How to deal with anxiety was the other question. If when you're trying to imagine things, it's too difficult and thoughts are intruding, they're trying to tell you something. They're trying to tell you that you need to go towards them and experience what is underneath those thoughts. Go towards them. What's intruding? What's coming in? Go with it and into it. That is the way to deal with it. And then once you're kind of close enough to it, use that revision technique to imagine healing there for yourself. And then like magic, will be able to actually start imagining what you want for the future, what you want right now, and do some more revision. Anxiety also, just to be clear, I was speaking about this with my friend. It also, sometimes we misapprehend that anxiety is, sometimes we're just experiencing the pre-wave of something big. Like this is a lot of times people will talk about this related to like performance anxiety or getting on a stage. It's not that there's something inherently going on with that person. They're just experiencing this huge wave of energy from all of these minds, hearts, and souls that are tuning into them. And that can be overwhelming and make someone feel anxious, but it's not, you don't have to feel like that. You can actually just be like, oh my God, this change is coming. Amazing. This is awesome. I am energized by this. This shit is incredible. I'm not anxious at all. This feeds me. So you kind of transmute that anxiety of what's going to happen into something that feeds you. Now, if you have anxiety that's just kind of like randomly popping up, then that's when I say do the revision and get to the root of the thing, because it could be a bounce back from something previous, a traumatic situation, something with shame. And you obviously, that's not going to help you too much when you're trying to imagine shit. So yeah, that's how you deal with anxiety, or how I deal with it. And I think just generally a good way. Okay. Now I'm going to do Reality 102 stuff. This episode, like I said, is really about healing thyself. And so a lot of those early questions dealt with practical ways of doing that. But a really good way of healing yourself is establishing this connection between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. And this is something that I've really discovered and come across in my readings with people, especially the tarot ones. Our conscious mind thinks it's in control because it's what we're aware of while we're awake. And so like most of the time, sometimes you can actually form this bridge, which is what I've been doing and teaching other people to do, or not even teaching them, having them remember that they're doing this. You can build this bridge between what your conscious mind is perceiving and what your unconscious mind is receiving and delivering. So this is really the magic of 102. Reality 102. And this is a class. Like, this is where we go to school for a little bit. And I've been in this school, which is why I get to teach this school now, just because I've gone through, these are all direct experiences. Okay. So here's the first premise of Reality 102. Whatever you want, you have to risk. So if you want it all, you have to risk it all. And that means different things to different people. Maybe you've, built a very comfortable existence for you. Are you willing to completely turn that upside down? Not in a bad way, not in an uncaring and uncompassionate way, but change who you are in a positive way? Because if you're willing to risk that, then the rewards are equal to that. But that is a major thing. So that's the first jumping off point. This is kind of the fool in the tarot. People look at the fool and they're like, the fool is so like, I don't want to be the fool. Fool. Well, the fool was also the only person in the king's court who could make fun of the king and the queen and get away with it. So the fool is pretty awesome. But also the fool's on this precipice, this edge, right? And there's a little white dog. This is the Rider-Waite. I'm not looking at anything right now, just in my imagination, but I know the card. And he's got this like hobo, this rucksack, and he's on this precipice. And what inevitably happens is he jumps off. Sometimes the dog jumps off first and he goes after the dog, like the White Rabbit and Alice in Wonderland. But sometimes he's pushed by someone or something. It's usually him. It's always him. But sometimes he makes the conscious decision to jump. And when we do that, we're in the void and we've risked it all. We've risked ourselves. We've risked our lives. And that's great. And that's where we all are right now. So if we try to fight that, it's uncomfortable, but it's what we're doing. So what I found when I jumped off this cliff, and I jumped, pushed myself at times, but I jumped, I obliterated and reconstituted myself until I finally revealed who I really am. And I guarantee you're on the same path and you're going to do the same thing. And what I mean by that is every second, every slice of a second, every moment and granule of time, every kernel of time, um, we're constantly destroying and reconstituting ourselves. It doesn't feel like that. It feels very solid. It feels like our world is this thing and it's this, oh, this is really what's happening now. But I'm telling you, this is what we're doing every second. Now, most of the time, we build back ourselves with the same things that we've accumulated since we've been alive, maybe in past lives too, but certainly in this life. And we just keep adding that same shit back on. But if you keep kind of peeling it away and keep obliterating it and only putting on the parts that are actually you, as your individuated sense of self, but also as that larger kind of who you really are, you start to figure some real shit out. So this is what we're doing. This is where we are Kali. Like I've been posting a lot about Kali and people have been saying, I don't know how to spell. What are you talking about? Kali. She is a blue goddess. She is a destructor. She is also a creator, but she destroys. She murders and psychically kills versions of yourself that no longer serve you. So embrace her. Yes, she's terrifying. Look into her eyes. Let her destroy the parts of you that no longer serve you. It's incredibly important. So that's oops, my mic. That's these are the first two kind of entry points into Reality 102. So this assumes that you've already experienced that your imagination is everything, that it creates, and from it springs your direct experience and your world starts to change because of that. So once you're there, you have to risk everything again constantly. You have to continuously obliterate yourself and reconstitute yourself until you reveal who you actually are and how this stuff actually works. And then you have to start getting in touch with very deep, you don't have to, I just want to be clear. You don't have to do anything, but what we're doing is we're getting in touch with things that, like, how can you hear something that's silent? How can you see something that's invisible, right? How can you touch something that has no physical appearance? Um, like those are the questions that you begin to hear. And everyone thinks they're these Zen koans. Well, you will start hearing the silent sounds. You will start seeing things that are not seen. And you will start touching things that are not touched. And yes, we do it in our imagination. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. But I'm telling you, stuff will start making a lot more sense to you. And I know this is vague and ambiguous, but this is nevertheless what's going on. So the way we bring this down to earth, the practicality aspect of this, and I got to jump off in a 5 minutes or so and do this podcast, and I'll come back and finish this one up, is we start looking at this reality metaphorically and we look at it symbolically. And as we do this, we start to discover these healing abilities we have, this ability to heal ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, relationshiply. So I knew it, as I was saying, I'm like, that's not going to come out right. So we start to do this. So like, how do we do this? Now, I've given a lot of examples over the past few weeks. So, jumping into God energy, deity energy, jumping into animal energy, noticing when these things are around you. Colors are huge. Colors are like they're such a portal. I learned this from the tarot, but just look around you. See what you've chosen to wear. See what other people are wearing. See the predominant colors that you find yourself in nature and around the world. And that will tell you quite a bit about what's going on in your life. They're the elementals, right? We have red, fire, passion, ambition, movement, can be aggression. We have blue, right? Water, cups in the tarot, emotions, intuition, feelings, psychic waters, right? Then we have air, right? Another form of blue. It can be a clear blue sky, but it's a different form of blue. Cerulean blue, one could say. And that is clarity, quickness, intellect, decisions, can be analytical, but quick clarity. And then we have yellow, right? Earth, pentacles, groundedness, practicality, things relating to the world, material wealth, all forms of wealth. These colors will tell us a lot. So when we see something like orange, that's this blending. Oh, and yellow is creativity, the intellect, creative intellect. So when we see something like orange, which is a merging of red and yellow, we see this merging of the creative intellect and our passions. So when I look outside right now through my garage window and I see these tree leaves changing to orange, that's a reminder this is a time as the leaves change from green, representing growth and room for growth, to this orange yellow, which is the time for creative expression and passion. So someone might look at the world and say, oh, it's fall, like things are dying. And yes, things are dying. That's an aspect of it too. But if you just get caught up in the literal aspects of what's going on, that's not exactly true. So when I travel to LA and the leaves will, palm trees will be a different color, it just proves to you that it's just a state of mind, and where you are is going to be reflecting where you're, what's going on internally. So pay attention to color. It's incredible. All colors mean something. And you can say, oh, well, there's different forms of color theory and colors mean different things. Well, yeah, because it's stable imaginal acts. Find the ones that make sense to you. We find these universal touchstones and they work perfectly. But you have to find the ones that work for you. Everything is an oracle. Everything is a synchronicity. You're always communicating with yourself. So don't get too caught up in the things that are seemingly contradictory, because they're not. All right, I am going to jump off right now and I'll come back and talk about numbers, twilight language, building your bridge to the unconscious, loosening your grip on your senses, and hidden threads. And then that is Reality 102. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Apparently, it's Dead People Day. I just was on a really fun podcast. You'll hear about it. Okay, and something happened during the podcast, and you won't hear it on the episode because it was like I kept my composure. But there's something that happens to me, and I think I mentioned it in the beginning of the episode, and I should have known it was going to happen today, and Halloween, and we're in Behind the Veil. Okay, so I've been exercising on the stationary bike, listening to music, and something that's been happening when I'm in like crushing like, resistance barriers. And what I mean by like, I level up the actual like level 5, level 6, level 7, the settings, the resistance. This is an exercise bike. I understand it's a metaphor too, but I'm actually physically pushing the resistance up. When I crush through those and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going faster than I've ever gone and I'm stronger than I've ever been. I've been opening myself up kind of to allow all beings to use me as kind of a transmutation vehicle for them to wake up or transcend suffering. I know that sounds weird and it sounds hoity-toity, but I've been doing it. Okay. Anyway, I don't do it for very long because it's intense and it feels weird sometimes, but it's a good feeling and I like doing it, so I do it sometimes. You may know what I'm talking about. So anyway, I was just doing this podcast and you know, something happens when dead people talk to me. I don't realize usually it's a dead person talking to me. Sometimes I'm getting better at it, but they'll tell me, like, a thought will come into my head and I'll tell you what the thought was this time. And then I'll get very emotional and I'll be like, whoa, what was that? And like weirdly. Um, and so this happened and here's what this, I know it sounds so weird. It sounds so fucking weird. This podcast, hey man, it's Reality 102. Buckle up. This is 102. We're going to 999. Is that right? Jeez. All right. 102. 102. So this is what's going on. All right. We're in the void. We're in the veil. We're lifting the veil, and a lot of our ancestors. So if you've healed yourself and you know how to do that, and I'll talk about these techniques after with the numbers and everything I said I just mentioned. I haven't forgotten that. If you stabilize yourself, now you can become kind of like a dimensional activation portal. What that means is you can invite physical people you know, and also not like physically to you, but like energetically people you know physically, and your ancestors and all beings into you as kind of a vessel for transmutation. And this is how you do it. And we'll use a very silly metaphor, but it's the one that they gave me. Thanks, dude. And it's this. You basically, if you've seen the end of Westworld season 2, and I know it wasn't like as great as the first season, but if you watch to the end, like they're opening this portal where this consciousness, there's this other, like, it's basically like a hard drive, another place where they can go. But they open up this portal and it's like this light portal. And as people jump through it, they disappear in this reality, but they're somewhere else. And you can see them on the other side through the portal. So what we need to do, oh God, I hope I don't get emotional when I talk about this. Please don't make me. Okay. So basically what we're supposed to be doing now, if you understand what I'm saying and you know how to do this, is imaginally you need to create that portal. It's a portal of light. It's supported by your unconditional love, forgiveness, awareness, and acceptance. And you're going to hold it open. All right. And you're going to God damn it, I'm going to cry. Fuck. You're going to let everyone come through it so they can go through. Okay. Just do that. That's it. All right. That's it. I can tamp down the emotions now. Freaking astrology, feminine triangle. Fuck. Well, what episode is this? This is the one where I tear up on the episode. Anyway, just open up this. I promise you it's important. You will. I don't know when you'll understand, but you will. Open up the portal, keep it open, and let people come through. And then don't be weird about it like I just was. You can be cool about it. Be fun about it. Like tell jokes as people are going through. It is, yes, it's very emotional and intense, which is why you just heard me kind of break up a little bit about it. But you can also just be lighthearted about it. So lightheartedly open this portal. You're going to experience people's energies as they come through you because that's what you're doing. You're becoming the portal, basically. And so you're going to feel a lot of different things as people enter through you. But to the degree that you can stabilize it and keep it life, aware. My co-star app just said, life has practical requirements. Are you aware of them? No, I'm just talking to people about fucking becoming portals for dead people. There's practical shit I need to do. I wasn't aware. Fucking co-star. Anyway, you got to this is Reality 102. This is why it happened here. I wish I was making this shit up because it's so fucking weird. But anyway, if you understand what I'm talking about, do that thing in your imagination with the portal. Don't do it if it makes you unstable, because that shit is real powerful, as was just demonstrated by me fucking tearing up. Jesus Christ. I didn't actually shed any tears, so that's progress. And I know it's totally fine to cry. And also, I just want to be clear, like, it's the only reason I'm not crying like full on bawling on this podcast is it's not entertaining. It's not like a good podcast. Privately cry as much as you need to. It's super great to cry. And it's like those tears weren't sadness, what I was just going through, or like what I was experiencing. It's just like, it's just like a lot, you're helping a lot of people and it's a lot of shit. And you'll know what I mean when you experience it, but you're probably going to do that if you're listening this far. Okay. Back to reality 102. So anyway, that just happened on this podcast I did. And so I was sharing that with her and it seemed like it helped her and I'm glad. Okay. 1222, 222. All right. Let me just collect my papers here. It's a fun day. Just expect this energy for at least another like 7 days for real. Okay. Numbers. Speaking of numbers, with the 222. Numbers, like I said, they're gateways, they're points, they're synchronicities that are showing you who you are and what you are trying to tell yourself, which is there's a hidden code behind and hidden and embedded in this reality. And it wants you to figure it out because it is you. And numbers are very helpful. So people be like, why do I see numbers so much? And people will be like, well, it's just confirmation bias. You just think you're going to see it. Okay, well, if that's true, then why don't you confirmation bias that your dreams are coming true? How about that, smart guy who I just made up as a person who was skeptical and kind of a dick? How about that? How about you just make up that your dreams are coming true? Confirmation bias that. Is that cool? Are we cool with that? Or do you just want to confirmation bias shit that proves things aren't true? Dumb. Anyway, getting more confident just calling shit dumb. And obviously, whatever. I'm stop qualifying. Okay. Double speak, twilight language. I recognized what I was doing in these readings and with people in my life, and they didn't appreciate it all the time. Is I use double speak and twilight language. And what that means is I'm speaking directly to your unconscious. So I do this in a couple of ways and I don't do it consciously. And when I catch myself doing it, I try to not do it. If you haven't noticed, in case you haven't noticed, I speak quickly sometimes. And I'm basically running circles around your conscious mind and logical mind, not like I'm better than you or I'm doing it because I'm a dick. I'm doing it because at a certain point, the conscious mind can only hold on to so much material before the unconscious starts listening. And then it goes, hey, what the fuck are they talking about? So that's how I get the unconscious to come out and play. I recognize this after the fact. I do it with myself. That's how I know I was doing it. But you can use words. I recognized I was doing this like the other night. I had a little microdose and someone wanted it. And I was like, it's going to wake you up. And I was saying it both as this will wake you up as like it will physically make you more alert, but it's also going to wake you up. Like you're going to start realizing who you really are. And that's double speak. And we do that shit all the time and everything is double speak. So when those Freudian slips or those things you hear when you're passing someone on the street and they're talking about something, pay attention to that shit. That movie that came on, that song that came on. This is why we build up our playlist of songs we love and hit shuffle and speak to ourselves that way. This is twilight language. This is twilight speak. It's double speak. It's demon speak. It's speaking in tongues. Blah, 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 blah. So that is another way that we uncover reality 102 and start moving to heal ourselves. And I guess I'm realizing now that that light portal thing that you do in your imagination and let everyone come through, that's 103. So I'm sorry, got in here somehow, but it is still 102. Bridge to your unconscious. Okay, so we just spoke about one way of doing that with double speak. Bridge to your unconscious is basically, I really like tarot for this and divinatory things, but you want to know how to communicate to the deepest part of yourself. Now, our desires are how we do that. And I know, like, that can be weird and difficult at times and not make sense, but it nevertheless is the most direct path and it's the clearest one. So your conscious mind is the masculine, there's desires, it's aware of them. Feed those to your unconscious mind in a loving way and they will be delivered to you. And then you start creating a bridge and then you can start using it. And then it's like, great, shit is good. I'll do a whole episode on that, but I just want to be clear, like your desire is the thing that builds the bridge. And your unconscious is running the show. She runs the show, guys. So, yeah. Okay. This one's important. Loosening the grip of your senses. Okay. Stop taking what you see and experience like as literally real. Don't be weird about this again. Like your shit is still out there. But if you imagine something and then it doesn't happen, stop taking it literally. Stop being like, oh, it's like, oh, it didn't happen. Well, you just created the didn't happen aspect of it, and you're just delaying it at best. So don't do that. Just telling them a whole lot of don't. I love it when people tell me not to do shit. That's the best way to get me to do. Like, it's the opposite for me. Someone tells me not to do something, I'm 100% doing that. So I'm just saying, like, it's wiser to not engage with your imagination in the way that if something doesn't happen, you take your senses literally. It's an after effect. Stop taking the after effect literally. It's not worth it. Listen, it can be fun when the things unfold. So if that's what you're doing, yeah, fine. Take it literally then. But as the unfolding of what you imagined beforehand, that's what it is. We're all waking up. That's what's happening. We're all waking up. We're here. We're badasses. We chose to be here. If you're listening to this, you're most likely not just someone who's waking up, but you're like a rebel. You're a soul rebel. I mean, here's how you know if you're a soul rebel. Here's the quickest way, practical way. If you listen to this podcast, if you listen to Sean and Cass's podcast, and you listen to a few other podcasts on MindPod Network of people who are just having fun and doing fun shit, you're a rebel. Welcome to the fucking club. We're also tricksters. Fucking play. We do stuff and it's fun. And if you're listening to this, you're probably one of those people too. You are one of those people. Just tap into it. It's fucking great. Okay, so don't take your senses. They're senses. They're just whatever. They're not so important. They're fun. They're great. Jump into your body. I love having a body, but don't take it literally. It's like, don't do it. Hidden threads. What does that mean, Noah? Why did I write that down? I don't know. Follow the hidden threads of your life. If you look back, you can see them everywhere. Okay, that makes sense. Hold on. I have some more stuff. Hands down the weirdest episode yet, right? Facts? Totally facts. Write in. Tell me. Noah@syncpodcast.com. This episode was weird. All right. I think... Okay, here's the last thing I'll say. This is the whole thing. Okay, for healing... You can bless yourself, all that stuff, heal yourself. It can be easy if you want it to be. It's always your choice. Do you understand? It can be easy if you want it to be. It's always your choice. That is a fact. If you think it's difficult, if you feel it to be difficult, lo and behold. So you can make it easy and fun and happy. That may be a little harder to do as we wrap up 2019. But in 2020, like this is a direct ascension. Shoot up the ascension juice right into your veins. Don't shoot anything into your. I don't know. Listen, do what you want, but like, come on. I don't know. You could do that. You know, I know people who inject ketamine and all this other stuff, and it sounds totally fine. Just like be healthy. You know what's good for you. Anyway, ascension juice. Drink it. What did I tweet? I said, listen. Hello, I am Noah. I'm your ascension tour guide. To the left, you'll find infinity. To the right, you'll find the void. Up above is your destination. You can look down, but don't get stuck. And always enjoy the ride. Or no, as always, enjoy the ride. That's what's going on, okay? We're all good. Open your light portals. Let your dead peeps in. Cry on podcasts. I didn't cry. I wanted to be known. I did not cry. I did tear up though for what was that? A solid 30 seconds to a minute. And I just want to be clear, like I will probably go process and cry that like not immediately after, but sometime after, probably when Higher Love comes on by Steve Winwood. Also listen to more Steve Winwood. Also Synchronicity pod playlist. You know about those? Probably not because I haven't talked about them. Number 24 I just released. Follow me on Spotify. You can find them. I tweet them out. It's music to help you ascend. Okay. Holy shit. This is definitely a weird one, but I love it and it's good and it's all true. And I know you can tell that. And if you have any questions, hit me up. If you want me to imagine something for you, I'm still doing that. Send those in. And I'm coming to LA, October 31st, New York City. Come hang out. I'm going to dress up as something. I don't know yet. Fuck. I got to figure that out. That's my job. All right. Happy imagining. See you soon. Bye-bye.